I came across this incredible quote today that I wanted to share with you. It goes like this. If you are planning your whole life, if you are planning everything into like detail, like you want to get up from now on at 5 in the morning, work out, start your day with like a routine, life responds with, oh, that's cute. And then throws something in your way that kind of like throw all your plans out of the window. And this inspired me today to share with you the kind of like concept of uncertainty. And if you're like me, then uncertainty is something that you might be struggling with. And let's be real, uncertainty is something that pretty much all human beings are struggling with because it's our brain that has an issue with it. But before I dive into it, my name is Martin. Hello and welcome to this channel. If you have not yet, please subscribe. It's up here or up here. I'm not quite sure, as always. I'm here to share with you openly, authentically, and unapologetically, without holding back, my life stories, my experiences, my learnings. I have this hope that I inspire people, I inspire you to take charge of your life, to really step into that driver's seat of your own life and live it with purpose and fulfillment without letting other people dictate how to live it. And uncertainty, I almost said certainty, uncertainty is something that very often prevents us from taking charge of our own life, from stepping into or getting into that driver's seat. And now this sounds like a paradox, like a contradiction. Like, how can I get into the driver's seat and take charge when there's uncertainty knocking at the door? Well, the thing is with uncertainty, uncertainty is always present. Even if we think that certain things are certain, within like a split second, things can change. You might get a phone call that like from your boss, like that you're getting laid off. You might get like a text message, maybe from your partner saying it's over, no explanation, or maybe with an explanation, but still, it's over. This happened to me last year at right before Christmas, a day before Christmas, actually. I was the day before, I was still talking to my ex, and at that time we were like dating, and everything was incredible. And we were like on the phone for like 2 hours, and then we both couldn't sleep. We were texting each other in the middle of the night, and it was so beautiful. Like the way he talked to me and what he shared, how he feels about me. I was like, oh my God, like I found someone that is re- reciprocating what I'm feeling, sharing that same kind of love, that same kind of devotion. Well, little did I know that I wake up the next morning sending a message to a response where, like, I got a message, but that's not part of the context. It's not necessary to go too much into detail. But what happened is that he was like basically saying it's over. And that came out of nowhere for me. I didn't think that it was him. I thought it was someone else, like using his phone or something. And I was like, that can't be real. Like just 6 hours before, because we texted at like 2 a.m. in the morning, we were talking and he gave me compliments and it was just beautiful and funny. And like, it was just an amazing like conversation through text that we had right before the message of like it's over. I was planning like or at that time we were planning that for Christmas, because I was with my family, that we're gonna do like FaceTime. We're gonna celebrate together in a way, like small but still sitting there together, opening the present that I gave him, and I'm like, all that went out of the window. I didn't eat for 2 days. I was crying. I was devastated. I just felt broken. I was like, what is going on? This is not supposed to happen. And here we go. It's not supposed to happen. Who the hell says it's not supposed to happen? Me? My ego? The thing is, in life, we have so many expectations and hopes and dreams. Very often, we have like those big visions, things that seem so important. For me, it was always like family, getting married, having that huge wedding with like shit, like a lot of people sharing the love and like all those kind of things. Having a big house where I raise a family with my life partner and all those kind of beautiful things, or what I thought were beautiful things. In that moment, everything was gone. I was like, where am I? I had that certainty that this is gonna happen, and now it was taken away from me. That was what I thought. However, the thing is, through my healing journey, through a lot of reflections over the past few months, I realized that a lot of things that I was planning, a lot of things, a lot of goals and dreams that I had, they were based on kind of like hiding my fear of being alone. And a lot of it was connected to money. And the funny thing is, for a very long time, I was struggling with money and I was struggling in relationships, romantic relationships. And I always said, like, those two are so connected. Like, the way I think about it, the way I feel about it, it's so connected. And what I realized was that, of course, it's connected because I'm using, or I used to use money to like kind of create a future, a vision where then I'm like, oh, if I'm single or if I'm by myself, I still have all those things. I still can create such an amazing life. So money, I put money on a pedestal for like in a certain way, or success, like as an actor, winning the Oscar, winning all the awards on this planet. It was a way for me to distract myself because I wanted to be seen. I wanted to be heard. I wanted to be not hurt, heard. I wanted to be appreciated and loved and recognized for who I am. When my ex left me, I realized all that was just meaningless. It didn't mean nothing. Because in the end, what I crave the most, and maybe craving is like the wrong word, but what I'm longing for, what I want to give, and what I want to experience most in life is love. Just, just love. Being connected to that one person that I love. And not having had that basically ever in my life. In a romantic relationship, I distracted myself. I was hiding how I felt, and I was hiding my true self, playing a role that was never meant for me. So you might ask, what does that have to do with the uncertainty? Well, the thing is, when it comes to life, there are certain things I believe are meant for us. And when I looked for like the recognition, the approval, the like seeking worth or being told that I'm worthy, I was looking for success. I was looking for financial freedom, and I was looking for romantic relationship to get that. And life was like, that's not it. That's not where you're going to find it. It is within you that you can find it. So I think a lot of, or I believe, I'm really strongly believe that a lot of things happened so that I can find myself, that I can reconnect to the true essence of the being that I am. So a lot of times when we are planning things, when we are doing certain things and they don't work out, it doesn't mean that it's that we are a failure. It doesn't mean we are not worthy. It doesn't mean we are broken. What it means is that we are invited to tune back into ourselves, to reconnect with ourselves, to be in the present moment and live life right here, right now. And I know it's a contradiction for me as a coach to say, like, live in the right, like right here, right now. At the same time, I'm always saying, like, create a vision, create plans and goals, and go for it. But I think it's the healthy balance of both. Having goals, having a vision, it gives you direction, it gives you kind of some energy that you can utilize. At the same time, I'm a true believer that it's important to stay in the present moment and let also life happen for you. Because the problem, what we very often come across, is that we're planning things and then we're trying so hard to figure out how. And that's the thing, the how is not up to us because we don't know all the details of what's going to happen in the future, of the people that we're going to meet, the random, like quote unquote, random things that are going to happen. We don't know. And if we're trying to figure out all that, we are trying to control the uncontrollable. We cannot control other people. We cannot control so many things that are happening in this world or in this universe. How do I know? Because we cannot very often even control ourselves. How are we supposed to control everything around us? It's just freaking impossible. But that's where most of our focus lies. We look at reality, we're like, oh, I don't like this, I don't like that. How can I change it? How can I control it? How can I take charge of something that I cannot take charge of? So instead of focusing on the outside, focusing on like all those things that you think you need to do and things that you need to create and whatever, start tuning into yourself. That doesn't mean like not having goals, but be okay that uncertainty is going to be part of it, that you don't know if it's going to happen, when it's going to happen, how it's going to happen. You don't know. And that is the beauty and the struggle with uncertainty. Because if we knew everything, like everything that's going to happen from here on out, what would be the purpose and the point of life? It's kind of like going to the movies, watching the same movie over and over again, or going to the movies already knowing. I really hate when people like um, the spoilers. I believe me, when I don't even watch trailers most of the time because I do not want to know what's going to happen. I want to start watching a movie or a show and just be surprised about like what's going to happen, not knowing anything about it. If someone tells me how like certain aspects of it, I'm like, I don't I sometimes I feel like I don't even want to watch it anymore. In life, I think it's the same. If we knew what's going to happen, why would we want to live it? Because we already know. Like nothing is going to be different if we already know exactly what's going to happen. But that uncertainty, that unknowing, I think is the beauty of life. It's what makes life so magical. there can be so much excitement around that. But very often we are in fear. My coach recently said something that really resonated with me. He said, fear very often is excitement hidden behind a limiting belief. And I was like, holy moly, like this is like, yeah, there's certain things I'm afraid of where I'm like, actually, it's excitement. I'm like, I'm looking forward to it, but that uncertainty, that not knowing if it's going to work out, if it's going to happen the way I want to, is making it more into like a fear. But uncertainty is part of life. It always has been and always will be. Now, when it comes to our brain and our ego, it hates uncertainty. That's like a part of our brain. I forgot I think it's a prefrontal cortex or something like that. Um, and it's like the rational mind, like the analyzing mind, the like predicting mind. And it's like always trying to figure out things, and it hates uncertainty. It tries to prevent and navigate around uncertainty. And that's what keeps most of us stuck, because there's things that are not predictable that our brain wants to predict. But we only know once we get there. It's kind of like cooking. You might have an idea of, like, when you put all the ingredients together, you might have an idea of what it's going to taste like. But sometimes there's something that you overlook that is spoiled, and then you taste it and you eat it and you think, oh my God, this is going to be amazing because I've made it maybe a few times, and then you eat it and you're like, oh, what went wrong? I did that once. I mean, I didn't make it before, but I had an expectation of what it's going to be like. And that was like in the beginning of my like cooking stages. And I made something and it looked amazing. It smelled delicious. And, and then I took a bite and it fell apart in my mouth. And it was basically like I just ate sand. It was just like, I was just like coughing it out, and it was just like a cloud of um, whatever was in there. But it was just dry, and it looked so delicious from the outside, and it smelled heavenly. I had to spit it out. I had to throw it away because it was just not edible. So that was like an uncertainty. I thought this is going to be incredible, but it worked out in a different way than I thought. Now, in life, that happens a lot, that we do something and we believe the result is set. The result is like, if we like, 1 plus 1 is 2. But that's not how life works for the most part. For the most part, it's like 1 plus 1 is 15 because we didn't see that there was like a 4 hidden behind the 1. So it's like 14 plus 1, not 1 plus 1. So there's a lot of things that we don't know, that we don't see behind the curtains of life. So we cannot know what's going to happen. And our brain hates it. So it tries to navigate through that and figure out a solution. And that is the reason why very often we stay in the familiar, because the brain knows exactly how to deal with it. It knows what to expect. It knows what's going to happen next, or it assumes what's going to happen next. It's familiar. So you don't have that, for the most part, you don't have to expect the unexpected. But if you go into the unfamiliar, the brain is like, I don't know if it's safe. I don't know what's going to happen. I'd rather stay where I am because I know how to deal with that, rather than going into the uncertainty. So our brain is working against us, and at the same time it thinks it's working for us. So what we can do is that we really tune into ourselves, that we are not blocking out the ego, it just doesn't work, but accept that the ego is just working in its own way, but that we disconnect or detach from our ego and say, I know this is what you think that is the best thing for me to do. However, I'm going a different path. I'm going beyond what I think is possible or safe or familiar. I'm going into and stepping into the uncertainty. Because once you embrace uncertainty, it loses its grip over you. Then it doesn't stop you from going after what you want. Because you're like, even if I don't get there, even if things are going differently than I plan or differently than I expect, it's okay. I'm still going to be alive. I'm still going to be experiencing life, and you can experience it in a way deeper, on a way deeper level, because now you are in the moment. You're like, I'm going to let things happen the way they're supposed to, without resistance. Because if you resist, it persists. So taking out the resistance of uncertainty will allow you to navigate through life with so much more ease and peace. Doesn't mean you're not going to be hurt, you're not going to feel any kind of like sadness or negative emotions. You're still going to experience it, but you're going to take it like with more ease as well, where you're like, okay, this is part of life. Wasn't planning on it, but it is what it is, and I'm going to let it move through me, and I'm going to let it go. Like, I'm going to release it, I'm going to feel it, and then I'm still going to continue moving forward. Because that's, in life, we're going to move forward if we want to or not. It's moving forward. Life does not wait for us to join. Life still happens. If you join or not, if you sit back and wait, life is still moving forward. So move with it. Move with it and enjoy the process. Enjoy and embrace the ups and downs, the in-betweens. Enjoy life. Write in the comments, enjoy life, I commit, to really start claiming that you are now moving forward, embracing uncertainty, and not letting it stop from being fully alive. All right, thank you so much for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, and share, and looking forward to seeing you in the next video. As always, lots of love and a big, big hug.